Evening. We're in the middle of June, and tonight we're going to talk on True Wealth Thursday about all we do here in the business with the USANA Health Sciences and how we make money doing this. Very, very fortunate again this week to have a fantastic guest speaker. I'll introduce to you in just a moment. About me, that is Dr. Stacia Kelly and myself on the left. It is a neat version of us on the right. Don't ask me how that happened. I have no idea, but it's awesome. I am a musician and a huge hockey fan. My car down there with Rev 3 on a license plate. And I put that this week because I had one-upped. And I don't always like to get one-upped, but when it's one-upped like this, I love this. And so our guest this week is Michele Johnson, as a gold director with USANA in Vancouver. Is that right?
British Columbia, yeah.
Well, okay. So the only thing I know about British Columbia is I know Vancouver and Burnaby.
Okay, I'm about 8 hours north of Vancouver.
All right, so Vancouver, north of that. So yep. The opposite of our 96-degree weather that we had today. Nice. All right, so there's the USANA Corvette from British Columbia, which is absolutely gorgeous. And Michele, have you been with USANA? 5 years. Also, director 5 years. That's great. That's fantastic. So for those who don't know, USANA is a direct sales company. We've been around since 1992, so we're turning 23. Everything that we do out of this building, this is our corporate headquarters. It's 375,000 square feet in Salt Lake City, Utah. Everything that we do, our manufacturing, our in-house, our video audio production, just all that is here in this building. And you see this flags out front because we actually sell to 19 different countries and we're growing. But it's very small with one individual guy named Dr. Myron Wentz. He's got 2 PhDs, one in microbiology, one in immunology. He's a philanthropist. He's helped open women's health centers all over the world. He opened Aviv Medical Institute in Mexico, just great stuff. And you see that it may have started with one guy, but the vision is absolutely not small. The vision for this company is absolutely amazing. It's dreaming of the whole world being disease and from pain and from suffering, which is huge. We want people to love life and live it to its fullest. Everything that we do every single day is to go out there and help people do that. Where we are, Wentz was a fantastic sales in terms of sickness. So he was founded a company called Gull Laboratories. Gull Laboratories was one of the world leaders in looking at cell cultures and performing diagnostics and analysis. Matter of fact, he did a thing called the Epstein-Barr test. And actually, when you think you have mono, you think you have the kissing disease, go in and they give you 3 tests, and it's mono and it's Epstein-Barr, and I don't know what the third one is off the top of my head. That really helped convert the ability to diagnose that particular sickness from weeks to hours. Huge. It helped a lot of people. But as doing that over the course of his lifetime, he lost several close family members to several diseases, and he said, you know what, analysis is great, but we've really got to move into cellular nutrition from a prevention standpoint. So he sold off Gull Labs, started USANA in 1992. So that's building right there. This is where we started. We've grown over the years. We're actually now a $1.8 billion company. In 2007, he was awarded the Albert Einstein Award for Outstanding Achievement in Life Sciences, which is a huge, big deal. I have a great partnership with the Dr. Oz Show and Dr. Oz himself, who comes out to our convention and has the last couple of years. And it's interesting because Dr. Oz it's an individual, but the Dr. Oz Show is not just a show, it's actually a huge ecosystem. I mean, there are plenty of guys who stand around and they wait for Dr. Oz to talk about a particular thing. Let's say it's something as simple as coconut oil, right? And I don't know if he's ever talked about coconut oil, but let me just use that as an example. Talk about coconut oil on a show. These will then immediately go to either some guys that they hire and they say, hey, I need a product that has coconut oil. They spin up this company and they spin up this product, and they first thing that's all over everything is as seen on Dr. Oz. Now, he's a trusted partner and sponsor of the Dr. Oz Show. There's only 12, and we're the only one in direct sales. I'll tell you, if you go onto the Dr. Oz Show website and you go to partners, on that page it'll tell you it says, as seen on Dr. Oz, you shouldn't trust it. You should are trusted partners and sponsors. So I think that's a huge deal for us because it's really, really an exclusive thing, and it's been a great partnership. We started this year, as a matter of fact. It's very cool stuff. Bottom line is everybody wants to be healthy, right? You can't necessarily get to any of the other goals that you have if you don't really find yourself where you want to be in your health journey. People are in different places in their health journey. I don't mean everybody wants to be a marathon or climb on Everest, but for some people it's just I just want to lose the weight. For some people it's I don't want my knees to hurt anymore. Our son just graduated, and he was born. We were 30 and decided, when he's in high school and wants to play tackle football in the yard, I'm going to be in my mid-40s. I better do something now to help my health, right? And it's just one particular goal, but we all want to be healthy as we can be. But unfortunately, a lot of people who are from diseases of inflammation and sometimes even lifestyle diseases, depending on which is you're looking at. Look at cardiovascular disease and cancer and respiratory disease and diabetes. If we put everybody who is attendance on here and say, tell me if one of these things has affected your family or your friends. And I think when we talk about this, it's way more than one thing. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, diabetes itself is a huge thing, especially among the younger generation, which is just an absolute frightening thought. But cancer, vascular disease, that's in my immediate family, and we have people to all of these diseases. And these diseases attack the cells, right? So everything we do is science-based. As I talked about, our founder is a microbiologist and an immunologist, not some student who wants the next great widget to sell. And so what happens to our cells? So if you get the study on the left, that's a culture, and they're human cells, and they're very fluid, and they're moving on just great, and they're very, very healthy. The cell picture in the center there, that culture is actually after you've eaten a typical fast food meal. What happens is the cells get really clumpy, they don't move very well, it's very hard for them to get to where they need to go to do their job. And then on the right side, it's actually you eat the same meal, but you've given yourself a defense mechanism ahead of time with preventing that oxidative stress, right? So when you hear the term antioxidants, and I think everybody's probably heard that term now, what we're going to do with antioxidants is we want to prevent free radical damage, okay? If we were kids, you rode your bike everywhere, and you leave your bike out in the yard and it would rain, what would happen to the chain of your bike? It would rust, right? And that's oxidative stress. It's rust in your body. So what we want to do is we want to give your body a way to defend itself by boosting through supplementation what you're doing with a healthy diet, right? Our product, the thing that we think everybody should start with is essentials. This is, we believe, is obviously essential to every person, and there are versions of these for kids and for teenagers as well. I'll get to that in a second. But you spend $33 a day, and by the way, you would never leave either the kitchen table or the bathroom because of the massive amount of calories that you would have to consume just to get what's in the essentials, right? Drink 3 ounces of olive oil or 4 cups of cooked spinach or 44 eggs. It's not even humanly possible, right? So to get the optimal levels of nutrition that are in the essentials, this is what you would have to do. Now, obviously, they don't cost $3 a day. Pause here because I want to tell a little bit of my story, but I'm really fascinated to hear Michelle's story. I think you guys are going to be fascinated by this too. Everything is different, and therefore every single person's body that is made up of different cells is going to be different. And the cell needs I have are going to be different from the cell needs of somebody else my age and somebody younger and somebody of an opposite gender and anything else. And so what we do is we have these things called optimizers, and they're made to deal with specific needs of everybody's body. I'll give you an example. So State and I are going to be celebrating this year our 18th wedding anniversary. And when we started dating more than 17 years ago, she had cats, and I was massively allergic to cats, of everything else, pollen, you name it. We had to get rid of it, as a matter of fact. So it's a package deal. If you're going to need to deal with cats. And I said, okay. And so I actually started taking a prescription strength allergy medicine. That's just 20 years ago. in 8, we actually, USANA actually started taking the products right before we started the business. In 2008, I switched over and I started taking this thing called proflavanol. Proflavanol is a combination of grape seed extract and vitamin C. I've used my allergy medicine since 2008. It's now, we are still, we have 4 cats and a dog. And they're all wonderful, wonderful beings to have in my life. I think it's fantastic. So I didn't cure or treat or prevent any disease. You can see that the disclaimer down there at the bottom. But I'll tell you, I do my allergy medicine. I take this, and this is my life experience. Now, not a huge story in my opinion, because I think that's it's okay to have pets. But Michele, you're the first person I've met who said that our high quality fish oil is actually your favorite product. You have a very, very specific reason for that. So I'm going to give you the floor and give you a chance to explain your experience.
Thank you, Nick. Absolutely, the Omega is one of my most favorite products. I suffered from post-traumatic stress. My husband was killed, and that brought on the post-traumatic stress. And I suffered an accident where I actually broke the front part of my face. It gave me a frontal brain injury on top of the post-traumatic stress. So I had drug-induced seizures as well, because they were prescribing me medications. And a friend introduced me to USANA 4 years later. And the Omega by far, I know pretty much safe. I with the recommended dose of 1 in 1, but I feel something. Probably the first month I knew there was something going on. So I I upped my omegas to 2 and 2 for the next while, and then I just upped 3 and 3, and I was in my doctor's office 3 months later, and he was for more medication, but I actually realized I did have a injury. I know that's kind of odd, but for some people with brain injuries, they don't really recognize that they have an injury, and that was for me personally what happened. So I can say if I miss doses or if I have strenuous days, I will up my omegas as well. So absolutely, without a doubt, the omegas were one products that I can't do without.
That's an amazing story, and you know each other for a cup of coffee, and actually I hadn't heard that, and so I'm really just delighted that you were able to join us tonight and share that, because I think that's a lot of people to hear. Maybe it gives a lot of people something new where they're kind of stuck in their health or their treatment.
That's what happened to me when I was sitting in the doctor's office. Was there was hope, and that is the word I use actually a lot, is for people that have conditions, such as brain injuries, depression, and other injuries to the body. There's hope. You have to live that way. So.
No, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. That's amazing. All right, let's continue on. So I know that everything we do is science-based, and this is one of the things. At any point in time, we have somewhere between, I would say, 8 and 16 clinical studies going on. We do a lot of things with the Linus Pauling Institute in Oregon State, and a lot of Colorado State University and Boston University. The studies that we found was the supplementation with the vitamin D and calcium actually helped decrease obesity, which is we'll talk a little bit about where insulin-resistant fat tends to store in your body. It actually helped heart health when overweight adults were on a weight loss regimen. So this example, and there's tons that we have that are listed on USANA.com as well. So what we do to make things very, very easy, especially for those of us who travel a lot. And I know Michele is going to go to our international convention and meet with Stacia and myself in August. It's going to be a good time. We're going to hang out like we always do and get in trouble. But what we allow you to do is we allow you to take the combination of recommended personalized items for you, create a very easy AM and PM pack. It's got your name on it. It actually has all the ingredients listed on it. You're able to take that. You're able to travel, whether that's via car, whether that's anywhere else, or it's a nice gentle reminder that, you know what, here's my AM, here's my PM. I don't have to have a slew of bottles on the countertop and go, which one did I take? Which one was that? And, especially if actual names are. So just makes things very, very convenient. Nutrition for the entire family, that is from before you're all the way up to the end of life, right? So we've got the essentials, which are for adults. We have prenatals for who are attempting to who are pregnant. We USANA chewable vitamin, which is a dosage of what's in the essentials, and also have, which is very rare in the industry, we actually have multivitamin for teens. Something. All the goals that we see say, oh yeah, no, I need to be taking something from a supplement standpoint, but just go with whatever price is out there. Well, price isn't the only determining factor, right? So you can see we've partnered with a company called NutriSearch out of Canada, and and they've actually evaluated over 1,600 different nutritional supplements. Our essentials are the gold standard. We're actually the gold medal of achievement for product excellence. And you can see here a 5-star rating that we're the absolute top. And then you can see there's some that are a lot easier to get that aren't rated as highly. Let's just put it that way. And that I think it's version in Canada, or do we do the same nutrition? Do we do the same? No, it is the same one, right?
Yeah, one.
Okay. My name is actually this. So I worked for 9 years in kidney dialysis, and I have to get the newest, greatest version of this book that looked like War and Peace that's on the doctor's desk, and it was called the Physician's Desk Reference, right? And it's in Canada, it's the Compendium of Pharmaceuticals and Specialties. But if you bring your recommendations from a supplement standpoint to the doctor, and the doctor says, well, I know about that, I don't think you should supplement, there might be contraindications or whatever, we'll point a giant book that's on his desk and say, why don't you open that up and look up USANA, and it'll be in there. So because we're science-based, we're very easily accessible to the medical community. Are awesome, but we also want to talk about how we help people with foods. So we have a very small concentrated food line. You can see that there are shakes there, that there are bars there. Everything is low glycemic. It's a great ratio of carbs and proteins and essential fats. Fats are bad. They're very, very convenient. And one, which is, we talked about a little bit at length last week, which is the Nutri-Mill-free, which is soy-free, dairy-free, free, lactose-free. It's designed to help anybody who has food-sensitive allergies. The fudge dust, the chocolate chip bars, they're squares that look like a dessert, but they are so protein-packed that you're not actually going to eat 20 of them, even though it's just based on taste alone, you would want to. Food in the food line, Michele?
The Nutri-Mill-free, actually.
All right, you and Stacia. I know I can probably hear Nada in the other room. She loves that too because it's very hard to eat. All stuff is low glycemic is because of this. So a lot of people, we don't teach this in America, glycemic index, because apparently the public is smart enough to get it, but we are once you understand it. On that side, let's draw a line right down the center here, a vertical line right down the center. On the left side, what you see is glycemic index, eating. And this is, if you're in typical core America, this is a lot of times what you're doing. You get something early in the day, you eat something high glycemic. And what high glycemic food does, and the glycemic index is just a measure on a 1 to 100, something turns to sugar in your bloodstream in comparison with just straight sugar, right? A tablespoon of sugar and threw it in, that'd be 100, right? That'd be in your mouth, if you not over your sugar, but in your mouth. So if you eat high glycemic, what happens is it converts sugar very, very quickly in bloodstream, and you can't have sugar in your bloodstream. What your body does is it sends the carbohydrates to the muscles, need them first, and then when it has sugars and carbs in the bloodstream, it sends them to the existing fat cells in your body, and when it can't fill anymore, it actually says, okay, we need to produce more cells. So it produces insulin, which is that storing hormone. we build new fat cells, we get the sugar out of the bloodstream very, very quickly. But when you get sugar out of your bloodstream very quickly, what happens? You crash. And you crash, your body produces cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and then you go, I got to eat, I got to eat, I got to eat. And so you reach for something that's high glycemic again. And then just continue this cycle. Over time, this leads to metabolic syndrome and even insulin resistance, and then to type 2 diabetes. So this is the repeated pattern. On the right, if anybody's ever heard of the zone diet, this is really the concept behind the zone diet, which is you want to stay low glycemic, which instead of spiking and crashing and spiking and crashing, we're going to be that red or orange line that you see in the middle there. We'll stay in low glycemic eating, and we're going to be producing, which is a fat burning hormone. That then our body stays full longer, we eat less, we're not reaching for panic meals that we're just not supposed to put into our body over and over again. So all of the stuff that we have in our food line is low glycemic. Now, if you see the bottom corner here, the glycemic index, anything under 55 is considered low, anything over 70 is considered high. Now, if you look at typical snacks, a bagel, that's actually considered high glycemic. Some of the different fruits that are out there can be considered medium glycemic. Even your breakfast cereal, regardless if it's Fruit Loops or Corn Flakes, it doesn't matter. They're all considered high glycemic. Our shakes down here and our snack bars and everything actually are in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s at the highest. So everything's still certified low glycemic. And we want to do that because we want to make sure that we're continuing to help you with your healthy lifestyle. Weight loss, the goal, they actually take our shakes and bars, we put them in a customizable program that's 5 days long. In 5 days, what happens is, because staying low glycemic with your foods, you logically change and you get rid of the high glycemic carb cravings. So that means that some people are pasta people, some people are breads people, some people are sweets people. You really help curb that craving. The goal is over that 5 days or so, the typical weight loss is right about 5 pounds. Make the U-turn from the diet that you're on, turn around, start eating healthy. And it's the beginning of the journey. So a lot of times this is just where we start. When you on transform and maintain phase, where they're eating a shake here, they're eating the bars there for snacks, they're eating low glycemic all the time. And then weight loss continues. And we've had personally people on our team lose over 100 pounds. Started with the reset program. And it's not that hard to do. A skincare line that is not cosmetic, it's actually cellular nutrition for the largest organ in your body, which is your skin. And it's a full treatment line that is patented and self-preserving. So there's no artificial anything, there's no parabens, which are cancer causing. It's actually, they're really great. Plus, you're using a shampoo, a conditioner, probably shower gel, soap, maybe a lot of these other products for your skin as well. Michelle, you know the Santé line? Yeah. I know we hadn't talked about that. That was kind of a pop question, but I know based on how your skin looks, I had a feeling you probably use it.
Yes, a school of a college of estheticians use the Santé line in their school. So we
nice, fantastic.
Yes.
Now I'll defer on this slide, but I'm going to defer to you just for a minute. So tell me about Rev3.
One of my top products as well. A whole fan base up in the north that love Rev3. It's just one of those things that people can have instant with it as well. So we like to share this as much as we can at our events and with others. And there's no crash and burn. And my mom's hooked on the Surge Packs. So it's a great product.
Yeah, I love it. And you know, this is a lot of people said, well, you're a health company. Why would you make an energy drink? Because all the energy drinks that are out there have all these ingredients that are absolutely horrible for you, whether it's propylene glycol in some of the shots, or it's artificial caffeine substitutes along with real caffeine in a lot of the canned drinks, and it's a $21 billion market, and it's really causing a lot of health problems with the younger generation, right? So the love of Rev3 is not exclusive to the Great White North, my friend. We love it down here as well, and as obviously because it's on my license plate, so I can tell you. I'm with you. That's actually how I started this business. Was actually started when we launched Rev3. So just a couple more slides. So we have a $1 million athlete guarantee, which means that we guarantee that our substance will not get you onto a banned substance list. If you think about all the time and how heavily invested athletes are in health, right? Especially now we talk about some of the Olympic teams that we have. It started with the U.S. speed skating team, but it's actually expanded now to over 100 athletes who work with us from the Olympics to the NHL to the now NBA, right? And if you're on a team and you trip a banned substance list, your entire team loses that medal. And so we guarantee that, you know, our products are potent, they're in the right combinations, and they're also not going to trip anything on a banned substance list. So it's absolutely huge. We're actually the only supplement allowed on the Sony Ericsson World Tennis Association, which is really cool. Now, not all that, because we want to tell you, we have the best product out there. We're addressing a need that people absolutely need every single day, wherever they happen to be in their health journey. We've got something that can help them out. And there's a huge passion, both right from the leadership of this company all the way down to every single person who's out in the field talking to people every single day. Because what we want people to do is love life and live it. Now, people have the opportunity because they're so bogged down in they have, right? The job we call JOB, just over broke. And you consider this as, okay, so you work a 9-to-5 job. All right, so I would tell you, live outside of the Washington, D.C. area. We're one of the top 3 rated community in America. To say it's the Bay Area, it's us. And it's 9-to-5, and you got to go into Washington, D.C. 9-to-5. That really means you're probably 6:30 in the morning, and you're probably getting home at 7 or 7:30 at night. And you're stuff. If you've got kids, you're missing an incredible amount of time to share with your kids. If you've got just projects, do things that you want to do, you're probably not achieving health goals when you're sitting in traffic or on a train for 3 hours a day. So to provide people the ability to do something that's exciting, it's going to be a new set of skills. It's going to be an opportunity to do something different. And the goal here is to get you free time commit, free to do whatever you will do. If you have amount of money that you spend all that time, trying to get a job, whether what you're worth. The network industry is absolutely huge. Just 90 million people, and in North America alone, there's $33 billion paid out a year. And our goal, Michelle and Steve and I, our goal is to get a big chunk of that, right? And and it starts right here. The first thing is, if you're not a business that actually paying tax really is sort of set up against you. Now, if you have your business, then the cost of doing business is includes a number of different things that are tax write-offs, right? So a lot of times that could be mileage, that could be some of the services that you have for your internet, for your cell phone. There's a whole bunch of different things, and obviously I'm not going to be a CPA. But Todd here on the slide is a CPA, and he said, look, the average North American taxpayer who works a full-time job and doesn't have a business is probably paying somewhere between $4,000 and $9,000 a year that they wouldn't be paying if they had a business. Now, let's just cut that right down the middle. Let's say $6,000. $6,000 divided by 12 months, okay, that's pretty easy math, right? It's $500 a month. What would you do with $500 extra a month just because you own your own business? It's a no-brainer. Now, and I want to get your take on this too, Michelle, if you don't mind, which is there's a great, huge difference in terms of what we're able to do with this business versus anybody who's just out for dollars. And I don't mean just making minimum wage. I mean any who, when they're in business, if they're not there, the business isn't making any money. Right? It could be a bell clerk, it could be a contractor, it could be an anesthesiologist who's making a lot of money. Again, if they're not there, then they're not making money at all, right? So the concept of residual income. Residual income?
Residual income is fabulous. So it's getting people and on the same page and do it once and getting paid over and over. Like authors such as you got yourself, writing books, music, and doing term will build an asset over time. And we get paid weekly at USANA. So depending on our efforts and helping our team members, we're able to create that residual income.
Yeah, we work closely with a diamond director Dave Levante, and he said, I worked 20 years as a naval architect, and then when I quit working there, they had the gall to stop paying me. I couldn't believe it. Well, there's no residual income that comes from a job, right? So yeah, that was perfect. I love that explanation. That was great. The number of different ways that we earn money here. On the right-hand side, you'll see that there's a ton of incentive programs. There's beach trips, there's cruises, there's all kind of great stuff. There's bonus for being leadership and building that team and teaching them that system that Michele talked about. Time matching bonus if you get some people started very, very quickly in this business. You've got sales if you have an outlet where you are a chiropractor or you said, as the College of Estheticians. I think it's weekly commissions, and that's huge. You're doing it, you get paid twice a month. You're not getting paid once every 30 days. It's every single week. Friday night, especially if you have direct deposit set up, you can just sit there Friday night, and it's fun for us to refresh the app because we have a great app, and we just watch the check and we say, oh look, the check's gone up, and how much are we making this week, and what that you haven't been paid on. There's a great rollover system, so you never lose credit for a sale. It's just very, very amazing and very, very easy to track where you are, how much you're making, and how that compares to what your is financially for the week. How this is very, very simple. We're coming up at the end here, right? So what you want to do is you want to open a store, a business or a store, and you can open 3 real differences. If we really, really simplify, it's pretty much the difference between 10% or 20% commission. And are cheap. Okay, if you really, really get into this thing and build it big, it's probably going to cost you right around $1,500 to get started. If you're smaller, you can build smaller. That's fine. But do you think how that compares to starting up, let's say, a fast food restaurant where you have to agree to build extra of stores over a number of years, and oh, by the way, the franchise rights alone are 6 figures. It's just absolutely monstrously insane. It's the one sort of slap against this. It's too easy. It's too cheap to get started with this, and that's why a lot of people don't really put a sense of urgency early, and then they get it later, right? The goal is to share USANA, as Michele said again. I love that description, right? So we get some like-minded people, teach them the system, we teach them how to have the skill set that they need to go out there, and then you're compensated on their efforts as well as your own. It's fantastic. The third, who you know. Now, I wrote a book called You Are a Network, and it's all about the fact that every single person has a different network of individuals who they get with, and it doesn't have to necessarily be kids on LinkedIn and followers on Twitter. It's anybody that you talk to. It could be your bridge club, could be your high school reunion, could be the guys you go bowling with every week, right? You're going to know people who we. So what's the fourth thing? Be teachable. Let's teach you the skills that you need to tell those people to say, hey, I've identified that you've got this need. I actually have this business, and we may have something that can help you out. And then communicate that depending on who the person is. And that's our goal, is to teach you all that. The cool thing is that USANA is not going to make you go out and reinvent the wheel at all. We have everything available to you, from business cards all the way up to professional quality audio and video commercials that you're able to go out and share. And how about this? How about need to know every single thing about every single product? Because we have an assessment tool that you can give to someone and say, hey, you mentioned that you were interested in hearing maybe some more ways that we can help you with your health. So here's a 10-minute questionnaire. It's going to ask you some questions. At the end, you're going to get 3 reports. It's going to be your lifestyle. One's going to be some of the top health risks that you have. I don't get to see those because that's a privacy thing, but product recommendations. Let's talk about those, because what we want to do is personalize a set of for you that are going to help you hit your health goals. They're going to help life and live it. That's what we do. A number of resources, as I mentioned. So we do weekly health and freedom presentations. This is mine. It's every Thursday at 9 o'clock. But I guarantee you, if you went and looked in the calendar, I know that some friends of ours who are 2-star diamond directors, they do one at 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock on Thursdays, and there's some every night of the week. So you're always able to go out and see some presentations we have. My USANA gear, if you want to get your shirts and your swag, there's the USANAtoday.com. There's actually a site that's not on here called whatsupusana.com, which is an award-winning social media site. Our local events, our huge international convention where more than 10,000 people are going to get together, and we're going to celebrate what we've accomplished this year and give some people some awards and make some announcements. It's just again, all this is what for really, really small investment. Before question, let me ask you, Michele, real quick before I close here. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind. Anything else that you would want to share with the folks listening and get a hold of you if they're interested?
They can get a hold of me through Michele Johnson. wholehealthyliving.usana.com. That's the that we get with our tools. And I just recommend the guests to really seriously have a look at either the products or the business, whichever needs that they're looking for, for themselves. And you got great leaders, and they're in great hands. And get started.
Exactly right. So, all right. So for the folks who are on here, if either you're on here live or you're watching this recording, that's shame for not making it, but sorry, we will forgive you. So definitely, Michele, I want to thank you for your time, and I want whoever you guys are who are listening to this, I want you to get to the person who invited you to this. If you're ready to get started, go to the person who invited you and say, I'm ready to get started. Show me how we get started, and how do we start building that system, and how do we start building those skills. If you're not there, but you're interested, but there's some questions that you still have, get the person who invited you and go ask them some questions. Don't hesitate. Don't watch another later on or whatever. Trust me, we'll get you to the right resource. We'll do everything that you need, because our goal here is to help you love life and live it to its fullest. And would thank Michele for being my guest. And that was wholehealthyliving.usana.com, right? All right, awesome. You can get to us from stacia.usana.com, which is STACIA. And we'll see you on social media, and we'll see you, Michele, at the convention in August.
Thank you.
Have a great night.